All right, here we go. Act 5, Scene 3. This is the final scene of the play. It's also one of the longest scenes in the play. So we're actually going to split it up into two videos here. First is going to be leading up to, I mean, it's not a spoiler because we knew it from the beginning, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life. And then our second video will be the aftermath. And that's going to even out. That's going to be about half and half. So here we go. Act 5, Scene 3. We are in the graveyard. Okay, near the Capulet family monument. Remember, everyone thinks Juliet is dead, and so she's been buried there where all her family members, including Tybalt, were buried inside the tomb there. And the scene begins not with Romeo entering the graveyard, but with Paris. Paris is there with his page, his servant, and he's there to bid his respects to Juliet, to like put flowers around the grave and all that sort of thing. So it's middle of the night. And so he says, give me your torch, right? And literally a torch, as him and his page are there. And so let's see what Paris is doing here. Remember, again, I said it a couple scenes ago, Paris, we learned, is basically a good guy. And so he's here and he says that he's going to come every night to pay his respects to Juliet, who he thought that he was about to marry before she died. So anyway, Scene 3, here we go.
Scene 3, a churchyard. In it, a monument belonging to the Capulets. Enter Paris and his page, bearing flowers and a torch.
Give me thy torch, boy. Hence, and stand aloof, yet put it out, for I would not be seen. Under yond yew tree, lay thee all along, holding thine ear close to the hollow ground. So shall no foot upon the churchyard tread, being loose, unfirm with digging up of graves. But thou shalt hear it. Whistle then to me, as signal that thou hearest something approach. Give me those flowers. Do as I bid thee, go!
Aside.
I am almost afraid to stand alone here in the churchyard, yet I will adventure.
Retires.
Sweet flower, with flowers thy bridal bed I strew. Oh woe, thy canopy is dust and stones, with which sweet water nightly will I do, or wanting that, with tears distilled by moans, the obsequies that I for thee will keep, nightly shall be to strew thy grave and weep.
The page whistles.
The boy gives warning something doth approach. What cursed foot wanders this way tonight, to cross my obsequies and true love's right? What, with a torch? Muffle me, knight, a while.
Retires.
All right, so retires. He doesn't leave the stage. He just like moves off to the side. He got the whistle from the page, the signal that somebody's coming. The obsequies, right? That's him paying his respects to Juliet and strewing the flowers around the grave. And he says he's going to do that every single night, but it's an odd coincidence that it's the middle of the night and somebody else is showing up. Somebody else arrives. And as it turns out, it's Romeo and Balthazar. Romeo, we know, his plan is to go into the tomb, see Juliet's body, and then drink the poison and kill himself there in the tomb because Juliet's dead. At least that's what he thinks, right? So he gives a letter. It says right here, hold, take this letter. Romeo gives a letter to Balthazar and says, hey, tomorrow morning, please deliver this letter to my father. And that letter, as we'll learn later, explains everything. So he is on his way in and he says, he gives this excuse that he's gonna take a ring from Juliet's finger that he gave her that's really important. And then he threatens Balthazar, leave me alone, let me do what I need to do. So here we go.
Enter Romeo and Balthazar with a torch, mattock, and crowbar.
Give me that mattock and the wrenching iron. Hold, take this letter. Early in the morning, see thou deliver it to my lord and father. Give me the light. Upon thy life I charge thee. Whate'er thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof and do not interrupt me in my course. Why I descend into this bed of death is partly to behold my lady's face, but chiefly to take thence from her dead finger a precious ring, a ring that I must use in dear employment. Therefore hence be gone. But if thou, jealous, dost return to pry in what I further shall intend to do, by heaven, I will tear thee joint by joint, and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs. The time and my intents are savage wild, more fierce and more inexorable far than empty tigers or the roaring sea.
I will be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
So shalt thou show me friendship. Take thou that, live and be prosperous, and farewell, good fellow.
For all this the same, I'll hide me hereabout. His looks I fear, and his intents I doubt.
Retires.
All right, so Romeo says to Balthazar, if you don't leave, I will tear you joint by joint and strew the hungry churchyard with your limbs. That's a really intense threat there. Balthazar says, okay, see you later. But he's worried, so he hides, he retires, he steps aside. So Romeo thinks he's gone, but Balthazar's kind of checking out what's going on here. As it says here, Romeo begins to force open the tomb and realize what this must look like to Paris, right? Romeo killed Tybalt. Romeo's been banished. Now, Romeo comes back and he's trying to pry open the Capulets' tomb where Tybalt has been buried. Paris is in the churchyard watching this, seeing what's happening. And of course, he's offended. He's taken aback. Oh my goodness, what is going on? The guy who killed Tybalt is now back, and why is he trying to pry open the tomb where Tybalt lies? So Paris then confronts Romeo, which seems reasonable given what Paris knows about the circumstances. Here we go.
Thou detestable Moor, thou womb of death, gorged with the dearest morsel of the earth, thus I enforce thy rotten jaws to open.
Breaking open the door of the monument.
And in despite, I'll cram thee with more food.
That is that banished haughty Montague that murdered my love's cousin. With which grief, it is supposed, the fair creature died. And here is come to do some villainous shame to the dead bodies. I will apprehend him.
Advances.
Stop thy unhallowed toil, vile Montague. Can vengeance be pursued further than death? Condemned villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey and go with me, for thou must die.
I must indeed, and therefore came I hither. Good, gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. Fly hence and leave me.
All right, so Paris says, hey, you gotta come with me. You must die, because again, remember that was supposed to be the punishment if Romeo is found in Verona again. And Romeo says, yeah, I must indeed. For thou must die, I must indeed. Well, yeah, of course, that's why I came here, right? Tempt not a desperate man, fly hence and leave me. He says, Paris, dude, I'm a desperate man. You got to get out of here. Don't make me kill you. Don't make me sin again, he says. And Paris stands his ground. Paris tries to defend Juliet and Tybalt and the Capulets. And as it turns out, that doesn't work out so well for him.
Think upon these gone. Let them affright thee. I beseech thee, youth, put not another sin upon my head by urging me to fury. Oh, be gone! By heaven, I love thee better than myself. For I come hither armed against myself. Stay not, be gone, live, and hereafter say, a madman's mercy bid thee run away.
By thy conjurations, and apprehend thee for a felon here.
Wilt thou provoke me? Then have at thee, boy.
They fight.
Oh Lord, they fight. I will go call the watch.
Exit.
Oh, I am slain.
Falls.
If thou be merciful, open the tomb. Lay me with Juliet.
Dies.
In faith I will. Let me peruse this face. Oh, Mercutio's kinsman, noble county Paris. What said my man when my betossed soul did not attend him as we rode? I think he told me Paris should have married Juliet. Said he not so? Or did I dream it so? Or am I mad, hearing him talk of Juliet, to think it was so?
All right, so this shows that Romeo didn't even realize that it was Paris that was confronting him. Let me peruse this face, right? After killing him, then he looks and sees, oh, it is him. He promises Paris that he will lay Paris inside the tomb with Juliet as requested. And now he opens the tomb, and as he opens the tomb, he drags Paris inside. And you can barely see it at the bottom here, but I love this first line. After he opens the tomb, he says, "Is this a grave? No, it's a lantern, because Juliet lies here, and her beauty makes the vault a feasting presence full of light." We've been talking throughout the entire play, and even before we started reading the play, about how frequently light is used to refer to beauty. And so he is using that here, even after Juliet has died, that the tomb is like a lantern because of all the light, all the beauty inside from Juliet. So here we go.
Oh, give me thy hand, one writ with me in sour misfortune's book. I'll bury thee in a triumphant grave. A grave? Oh no, the lanthorn slaughtered youth. For here lies Juliet, and her beauty makes this vault a feasting presence full of light. Death, lie thou there by a dead man interred.
Laying Paris in the monument.
How oft, when men are at the point of death, have they been merry, which their keepers call a lightning before death? Oh, how may I call this a lightning? Oh, my love, my wife, death that hath sucked the honey of thy breath, hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there.
So this is Romeo's last big speech here before he drinks the poison and dies. And it's this entire page. And it's interesting as he's giving this speech that we're noticing how awful the timing is in this play, right? He says, "Death that has sucked the honey of your breath had no power upon your beauty. You are not conquered. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there." So basically he says, you're so beautiful, you don't even look dead. Your lips are red, your cheeks are red. Remember when Friar Lawrence was talking about the potion that he was giving Juliet, he talked about how she would look dead and her blood would run cold and she would turn pale. And now Romeo says that she is beautiful and basically looks normal, right? And so even though she's not awake yet, her body is physically waking up. The potion is losing effect, but of course, Romeo doesn't do that, okay? Then Romeo turns to Tybalt.
Tybalt, liest thou there in thy bloody sheet? Oh, what more favour can I do to thee than with that hand that cut thy youth in twain, to sunder his that was thine enemy? Forgive me, cousin.
All right, what favor can I do to you than with the hand that killed you to kill the person who killed you, right? And then he turns back to Juliet and says, basically, man, the angel of death must love you to keep you looking so so beautiful, even now, even after death.
Ah, dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, and that the lean abhorred monster keeps thee here in dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this palace of dim night depart again. Here will I remain with worms that are thy chambermaids. Oh, here will I set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-wearied flesh. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace, and lips, oh, you the doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss, a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Come, bitter conduct, come, unsavory guide, thou desperate pilot, now at once run on the dashing rocks thy sea-sick weary bar. Here's to my love.
Drinks.
Oh, true apothecary. My drugs are quick. Thus, with a kiss, I die.
Dies.
All right, so Romeo drinks the poison and dies. I just wanted to point out, you can see it at the top of the page here. He says he's setting up his everlasting rest and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars, right? Again, star-crossed lovers, the stars are very important to them, and we see that throughout the entire play. And this one more time, he says, I'm going to shake the stars off of me, right? Because after death, the stars won't bother him. He kisses Juliet, drinks the poison, and dies. And then the very next stage direction is Friar Lawrence entering the stage. That close, just missed him, right? So Friar Lawrence enters the stage, and he encounters Balthazar, who doesn't know that Romeo is dead in there, but he knows that Romeo's been in there for half an hour. And so he explains to Friar Lawrence kind of what's been going on. So here we go.
Enter at the other end of the churchyard Friar Lawrence with a lantern, crow, and spade.
St. Francis be my speed. How oft tonight have my old feet stumbled at graves? Who there? Who is it that consorts so late the dead?
Here's one, a friend, and one that knows you well.
Bliss be upon you. Tell me, good friend, what torch is yon that vainly lends its light to grubs and eyeless skulls? As I discern, it burneth in the capel's monument.
It doth so, holy sir, and there's my master, one that you love.
Who is it?
Romeo.
How long hath he been there?
Full half an hour.
Go with me to the vault.
I dare not, sir. My master knows not, but I am gone hence, and fearfully did menace me with death if I did stay to look on his intents.
Stay then. I'll go alone. Fear comes upon me. Oh, much I fear some ill, unlucky thing.
As I did sleep under this yew tree here, I dreamt my master and another fought, and that my master slew him.
Romeo.
Advances.
Alack, alack! What blood is this which stains the stony entrance of this sepulchre? What mean these masterless and gory swords to lie discolored by this palace of peace?
Enters the monument.
Romeo, oh pale. Who else? What? Paris too? And steeped in blood. Ah, what an unkind hour is guilty of this lamentable chance. The lady stirs.
Juliet wakes and stirs.
Oh, comfortable friar, where is my lord? I do remember well where I should be, and there I am. Where is my Romeo?
All right, so that's how bad the timing is, right? Romeo dies, Friar Lawrence shows up, he has a 2-minute conversation with Balthazar, goes into the tomb, Juliet wakes up. I don't know how You would think of it in passage of time, but I imagine that Juliet wakes up, 10 minutes after Romeo dies or less. Friar Lawrence hears some noise as he says, somebody's coming. He has one more final plan for Juliet. He says, I got to get out of here. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm going to help you. So let's hear his final plan for Juliet.
Noise within.
I hear some noise. Lady, come from that nest of death, contagion, and unnatural sleep. A greater power than we can contradict hath thwarted our intents. Come away. Thy husband in thy bosom there lies dead, and Paris too. Come, I'll dispose of thee among a sisterhood of holy nuns. Stay not to question, for the watch is coming. Come. Go, good Juliet.
Noise within.
I dare no longer stay.
Go, get thee hence, for I will not away.
So his last plan is, Romeo's dead, Paris is dead, come with me, I'll take you to a sisterhood of holy nuns. You can devote your life to the church, you can become a nun, nobody will ever know, and you'll be safe and okay, but we gotta go. And Juliet says, no, you get out of here, I'm not leaving. So Friar Lawrence leaves, and Juliet inspects Romeo here.
Exit Friar Lawrence.
What's here? A cup closed in my true love's hand. Poison I see hath been his timeless end. O churl, drunk all and left no friendly drop to help me after. I will kiss thy lips. Haply some poison yet doth hang on them to make me die with a restorative.
Kisses him.
Thy lips are warm.
Within.
Lead, boy. Which way?
Yea, noise. Then I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger.
Snatching Romeo's dagger.
This is thy sheath.
Stabs herself.
There rest, and let me die.
Falls on Romeo's body and dies.
All right, so there is the resolution to what we saw in the prologue, right? A pair of star-crossed lovers take their life. Now, there is more to go, right? There's the whole resolution to the play. We know that their death buries their parents' strife, also from the prologue, so we've got to see how that happens. But this is death of Romeo, death of Juliet, and this is about halfway through scene 3. So we're going to pause right here, and then we got one more clip, one more video as we wrap up the end of this play. So thanks for listening. One more, we're almost there.